So from what I just said, it means that everything must come through evolution. Everything within the physical world evolves, and everything within the metaphysical world evolves, including consciousness.
Right.
Right? We can try to look at the formation of the solar system. However, we're in this case, we're just going to look at what we've experienced here on Earth, in the Earth realm, or what we can kind of say, what we take the word of the scientists when they talk about the planets and the constellations in the solar system, the galaxy, the formation of the sun, and so on and so forth. Here on Earth, the formation, excuse me, the formation of the first density of consciousness. We're going to start there. So I don't know if anybody want to just go into start going to the chakras, or you want me to lead it off. It's up to you guys.
Well, let's get
First.
the definition of chakras, where they come from.
I'll leave that to you.
We can go from there.
Go ahead.
Well, what I understand is that they are what most people would call energy centers.
Okay.
In the ancient Sanskrit word, it would be chakra, which means a spinning wheel, a wheel that spins. Now, I can say it may not be clockwise. I think it's counterclockwise, because all the things I've seen normally does a clockwise thing. I mean, not clockwise, counterclockwise thing. And I think they were normally, they were first read about in the sutras, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
In the sutras, which is an Indian text, I think it is.
It is.
Chakras was first mentioned in the Vedas, the ancient Hindu texts of knowledge that were created as early as 15,000 BC in India. So that's who they probably found it at. And you got to realize, like you said, people want to say new age stuff. This stuff been around for thousands and thousands of years. Right. That they were doing, and probably before that. This is just where it was written down at.
Right.
It could have been practice in what most people would call Lemuria, and before that, or on other planets also.
Yes.
So, yes, we do believe in beings on other planets. Yes, totally, I do.
It's in your holy text.
It's right there in your book.
Right.
There's a lot in the book. Once you come to a certain consciousness, it's laid forth throughout there. I think yeah.
Are we doing we just gonna stick with the English meanings, or we're gonna hit the Sanskrit, like your Muladhara? Like, so the first chakra is the Muladhara, if I said that correctly.
Right.
Muladhara. Right. Other names is just your root chakra.
So,
Exactly.
if you will, like if you take this right, just expound on why understanding that is important for your development.
Well,
Right.
Whew, there's so many dynamics to go with it, but we just go simple. Like, they align with direct energy centers that actually govern certain glands in your body.
Exactly.
So right now we're dealing with the root chakra, right? Sanskrit name for the first chakra, also called the base or root chakra, is the Muladhara. The word combines mul, or the base, or adhara, meaning support, which wonderfully describes the first chakra's main goal: to root and sustain us in our daily life.
Right.
Now, how does that relate to density?
There you go.
Right? You have the base and the foundation, which is like your magma, your rock, water. When I say rocks, I'll say minerals, because that's what makes rocks.
Right.
Air, ether,
Right.
which is just, I can't even describe ether. It's like what, if you look in space, that's ether.
That's ether.
It's that substance that we consider spirit, right? They all interact with one another. The friction of this interactions begins to evolve consciousness into the second density, which is growth and movement. But right now we're in the first. So how that affects you? It's the base center for like your food, food, clothing, shelter. Help me out if there's anything I'm missing.
Grounding, security,
grounding to the earth.
Right.
So when we say grounding, we're talking to the earth.
Right. Exactly.
So is this more so something where, you know, like in terms of growth, if you are at the base, right, you have a stream-like attachment to what's material.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, you know, that's, go ahead.
Balanced, it's necessary.
Right.
Because you need the earth. The earth is, we say Mother Earth, Gaia, whatever terms you may know. But the earth is what provides the elements that gave you your physical body.
Agreed.
Right? So that's why we align to that. You understand? So a balanced chakra is you feel confident or sustained in your food, your clothing, your shelter, your necessary needs. Right. And imbalance is, you know, you're afraid, you have fear, you know, it's
you have survival issues.
Survival issues. Yes.
You know, it's like you don't trust that you're gonna be fed every day.
So
or clothed every day.
In this instance, right? In this area of consciousness, is this where you are as an individual the densest?
Yes.
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 Exactly.
Okay, so
Facts.
if you're there, what does that mean? If this is where you're the densest in terms of, you know, if we're framing this type of discussion around understanding these subtle energy bodies in terms of how you're progressing in this current experience, right? Maybe you can provide a little bit more insight as to why it may be described as this is the area where you're the densest.
Right. Well,
Go ahead.
I can say, well, what I understand of what I study from, and I can go back into the scriptures, and I can say, well, just read the story of Adam.
Okay.
The man of the ground, had security issues because he wanted to take forth. Well, Eve wanted to take forth of the fruit of the good and knowledge of evil, and he took part of it. So now he's really cast down to the ground. So that is the lower state, what I would say a lower state of man is Adam, or you could say Esau, the lower part of someone that's not being grounded or have survival issues.
Okay.
Or if I still want to go on, I can go into Pesach. That's why you slaughter the lamb, so you can get security. You're supposed to look after your brothers.
Commonly known as Passover.
Or Passover. I can go in there.
Okay. One thing that we didn't say is that you mentioned Adam, which some definitions would be human, red, ready. Esau, it said he red pottage, red lentil. So I'm saying that to say that in the chakra system, the color associated with the root chakra is red. But I'm gonna go over some something to help with your question. It's from the Complete Book of Chakras by Cindy Dale. I'll hold it up to the camera later. We just got to remember to put the references. So let me see excuse me. Woo, wanted to sneeze.
And also the element of the root chakra is earth.
Yes. The Muladhara rules all feelings and beliefs contributing to the sense of safety and security. The primary belief governing this chakra is the belief that you are worthy of existing. So again, how it aligns with the first density is I exist.
Right.
And that's also a meditation. I exist when you want to deal with the root chakra. The chakra processes all primal feelings, including the 5 feelings that are typically considered the most basic constellations: anger, sadness, fear, disgust, joy, and the related survival reactions, including rage, resentment, futility, despair, terror, abandonment, rejection, shame, guilt, bliss, oneness, and longing. When our beliefs, usually created in response to experiences in our family of origin, support our identity as a spiritual being, we easily manifest money, love, desirable career, and optimum physical health, which are all what? Physical things.
Physical
Physical
things.
things.
Things related to the physical realm.
Exactly.
When our eternal identity is compromised, when we believe ourselves unwanted, undeserving, and unworthy, our primal survival needs are compromised. And we might experience insufficient finances, inadequate primary relationships, an unhappy career, and more. This chakra encompasses our earliest childhood issues in this life, which
Right.
is your base when you first come into this physical existence.
Exactly.
But also karma from previous lives. Together, these components determine the happiness and unhappiness of our current life.
Which, if you look at society as a whole, most people in general, they float between that spectrum of being happy and unhappy.
Yes.
And in between all of that is the going back and forth between the different rudiments that you just discussed.
Yes. Yes.
So think about spending 30 years in that place.
It's based on each soul's development.
Right. So you would either progress, meaning that you would learn the lessons associated with this particular body
Yes.
of energy, right? Or you repeat the lessons over and over
And you may carry it over to another lifetime.
to another lifetime.
Yes.
Right. So like if you're tuning in and you're listening, right, what we're explaining just at a very, very base level, these are certain blueprints that you take with you. Right? These are certain, and if you go back to a couple of our episodes before, we talked about your core energetic blueprint. Right? Everybody has one. Meaning, based on where your sphere of consciousness lies on the spectrum, if you will, right? This is where you basically this is where you gain your knowledge through your experiences.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Exactly.
So we are also responsible for creating karma as we go. This is called prarabdha karma. This means to achieving positive karma is learning how to control our manas, which is Sanskrit for mind.
Mind.
Control your mind, which we talked about last week, as well as our senses through discipline, sadhana. Within this mix, Kundalini stirs all seeds of life, activated the positive and negative, so that all our emotional and mental programs are illuminated. Common traumas related to the first chakra include being exposed to sexual or physical abuse or addictions, money challenges, birthing complications, abandonment, and not being wanted by our parents. What happens if this chakra is emotionally disturbed? There are many symptoms of this, among them lack of safety, security, and trust, inability to manifest, lack of connection to home or primary relationships, disconnections from societal norms, lack of groundedness, and depression, anxiety, or addictions. Someone with psychological imbalances in the first chakra can also be deeply hurt,